Hey guys, it is Jamie, and I am here to do a super late Q&A session for you. I know that I promised to do it after my birthday, and I fully intended to, and I even tried. There was like 3 different times where I started filming, and it just didn't work out. My phone would die, my computer would die, the sun would go down. Also, there's a secret that you don't know about me, that in real life I have bitch face. And the first couple times I made a video, it was like this. So, I'm moving on to Florida today. This is my normal happy face. People always ask me like, what's wrong, are you okay? And I'm like, no, my facial expressions don't match my emotions. So after those few failed attempts at making videos, I decided I needed to be more expressive and happy and smiley. And not just as like an act, but I don't want people to think that I'm always cross, and I don't know, apparently sometimes that's the way it comes across. So anyway, that was an issue too. I am back with a fully charged phone, laptop, at least 2 hours till the sun goes down, and I am finally gonna do this Q&A session for you. Hopefully I get your names right. I feel like there's some names I'm not even gonna try to pronounce because I'm bad at reading. So I'm just gonna jump right in. NoLa03. Happy birthday. What's your biggest tip for someone trying to move to Alaska? My biggest tip for someone trying to move to Alaska is to go there for a season before you decide to make the full move. There's a lot of different companies and areas hiring seasonal employees, especially just like spring through fall. They hire a lot of people to come out there and work, and if you do that while you're out there, you can kind of feel it out, make sure it's what you want, and also meet people and get ins for other jobs that do last year-round. That would be my tip for you. Geo Thomas and Respectfully Living both want to know where to next. What's the next adventure? So you probably figured it out because I started posting videos already. My next adventure is traveling east towards the Florida area. I'm not 100% sure what exactly that entails or what that means. I'm kind of just taking it as it comes. Really my only goal or like prerequisite is that it's decent weather, hence Florida, and that I can take video footage on the way. So a lot of times the stops that I make are based around the location of my gym, and usually I always also want to make sure that there's a Starbucks or some sort of coffee shop around so that I can have access to electricity and be able to edit my videos there, spend a decent amount of time there working. SC1212 Abel says, congrats and happy birthday. Thank you so much. Is the sailing adventure still going to happen? I would love to do something like that. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I so wish that I knew. I wish that I could make it happen. Sorry, there's like people walking around outside. It's kind of awkward. So you probably heard me mention in the previous videos that the trip I was maybe going to take before kind of fell through. I am on 2 different websites right now. One of them is Cruise Seeker and Crew Bay, something like that. And so those are websites used for captains to connect to potential crew. It's all different kinds of positions. Some of them are jobs. Some of them are captains looking to take people on to help contribute to the onboard expenses. Some of them are where the captain actually pays your expenses and you just kind of help sail in exchange for that. That would be something super amazing for me because I don't have a lot of money, and that would actually save me money because I wouldn't be spending money on gas and whatnot. I'd be on the boat helping crew. But it's a little bit of a tricky situation. I would want to make sure that I'm in a very safe environment, and also personalities and preferences definitely come into play as well, because I mean, you're stuck with this person or these people on a boat. Like, there's no getting off. I mean, you can get off, but a lot of times you're going to be in a more remote area, and buying a plane ticket or somehow getting travel arrangements back to, you know, wherever home is, or in my case, wherever I leave my vehicle, could be very expensive depending on where it is. So yeah, it's kind of, it's a big commitment to make, and so I am definitely still interested in that, but I don't have any strong leads at this time, and so I'm kind of just enjoying the van life for now. Sexy. How did the birthday go? Did you do anything fun? My birthday went really well. I have become really good friends with the owner of the property that the Airstream sits on, and we actually went out to a wine tasting and dinner and to a flamenco dance, and that was my first time experiencing that. It was a really good time. I did have a lot of fun, so thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes. Deal 58 says, ever been hiking in Colorado? You know, I get a lot of people asking me about Colorado, and it's a little bit weird that I haven't spent much time there. I've actually only been through the corner of it, and it's definitely something I want to do. I want to spend a lot of time there and exploring there, but definitely not in the winter, maybe in the spring. So we will see. Do you have relatives in Le Sueur? No, I don't. Pretty much all of my family is in Minnesota right now. I have some siblings that have done some traveling, international traveling, but everyone is based out of Minneapolis and living there full time right now, except for me. Cloyd Arnpenna. Cloyd, you comment on all my things, and I always see them, and I don't know really who you are, but you're really supportive, and I kind of feel like you could be, I don't know, like this father figure type kind of guy. I could be completely wrong. I'm sorry if I am. Probably like some young guy. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so Cloyd says 1,327 plus miles from Albuquerque to Minnesota, where you left your Yamaha 650, or is it with you in New Mexico? How are you spending the holidays? Thanks, Jamie. My motorcycle is back home in Minnesota. I left it at my parents' place. I have a lot of people saying, get a trailer or get like a mount on the back of your van and take it with you. And I would consider doing that if I wasn't traveling alone. My bike looks pretty small. It is small, but it's really heavy, like really heavy. I can't lift it up by myself. And so if anything was to happen and it was to tip over, or, I mean, mechanically too, I'm not mechanically inclined. So I feel like it would just be a hassle at this point. Like I said, if I'm ever traveling with someone who's really into biking or motorcycles, I would definitely consider it at that point. But for right now, it's just not going to happen. And I did spend the holidays in Minnesota. It was a good time, so yeah. Do I have an aunt named Colleen? Wilma asks. Wilma Traveler 2. Or is that 2 weeks ago? Wilma Traveler. Travail. Wilma Travail. Sorry, guys. I do not have an aunt named Colleen. Yeah. A lot of people ask me about, like, my relatives and my family and my sister and if I used to live here or there. And apparently I have a really familiar face. So, but no, I don't have an aunt named Colleen. Okay, Lamb's Bread says, love what you do, keep it up, just discovered your channel. Are you going back to Alaska to work for your previous job? I do not have plans to go back to Alaska at this time. It was a great experience. I'm super grateful that I got to go and do it. But honestly, I wouldn't want to live there. I'm more of like a sun and a beach kind of girl. Yeah, I feel kind of bad saying that because there's so many people that have found me through the whole Alaska adventure, and they're like, yeah, Alaska, like die hard, like wanting to move out there. And I'm like, yeah, but wait, no, I don't want to move out there. I'm not a die-hard crazy adventurer. I don't scale mountains. I don't work on a fishing boat. All these people who are like, oh, you're lying, you're not a deckhand. A deckhand doesn't mean that you're like scaling fish. Not the same as those shows on TV. Not in my case anyway. I was crawling around an engine room like pretty much most of the days. So that was kind of more intense labor. But yeah, I got a lot of people saying that I lied and I wasn't a deckhand. Okay, That's Neat says, happy birthday, favorite national park you've been to? Thank you. My favorite place is not a national park, it's a national monument, and it is White Sands. You've probably seen me talk about it a little bit. If I had to pick a favorite national park, I'd probably say Death Valley out in California. It is massive and expansive. Yeah, expansive. And I just really loved it. I wish I could have spent more time there, but yeah, I haven't been to that many national parks. Hopefully more within this next upcoming year, and then my answer will probably change. Dadanert Nakruk? Happy birthday. Hope you don't mind me asking what your age is. Please make a Twitter so I can follow you. I can't do Twitter. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have Facebook and Instagram, and I am so overwhelmed with just those platforms. There's no way I could handle Twitter too. Sorry, guys. Also, I am 33. Probably some of you are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were that old. And if that's in reference to my looks, then thank you. If that's in reference to my maturity level, then, you know, that's fine too. I feel like my upbringing was, I was a pretty serious kid. I dealt with some unideal issues pretty early on, and it actually wasn't until my late 20s that I was like, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna like live life and have fun and do what I want and not worry about other people and not worry about like the milestones that society says I have to meet. Like, I know a lot of my friends are married and having kids, and you know, they've owned houses for a few years, and that's great if that's what you want. Like, I'm all for it, but that's not my journey, at least not at this point. So yeah, I am 33, and I would never go back. I would never ever go back to a younger age. Yeah, with age comes experience and wisdom, and my life just keeps getting better as I get older. So yeah, I'm pretty happy at 33. Jesse O'Canis says, my question is this: what made you live the nomadic life? How do you finance it? What's most challenging? And do you ever plan to settle down and live a so-called normal life? And last of all, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, so what made me want to live the nomadic life? Kind of what I mentioned a second ago. I grew up a more serious kid. I was very sheltered and restricted in the things that I was allowed to do and participate in and be exposed to. And I think that once I moved out for the first time when I was 22, and after I kind of got a taste of like, this is normal life and I can do like whatever the fuck I want, I kind of just became obsessed with freedom and with experiencing things and expanding and learning. And you know, the more I do of that, the more I grow as a person and learn, and my perspective is expanded, and I just feel like, why would I not? You know, why would I settle? I mean, there is definitely pros to like a normal, stable life, and I have lived that way. Before I bought the van and moved into the van, I lived consistently in Minnesota for 3 years, working the same job, and that's where I saved up a lot of the money that I used to buy the van and to finance this whole thing. But that's not, I don't know, I don't want to be in a stagnant position. I don't want to do the same thing for 3 years and like not learn and not grow. And I'm not saying that you can't do the same thing for 3 years and not learn and not grow, but I just feel like I wanted something else. I wanted adventure and newness and freedom and the gypsy life. And so, how do you finance it? That is an ever-changing answer. In the beginning, it was my savings. I had, I think, like $3,000 in savings. So I depleted that within the first like few months. And then I got the Airstream. I moved to Albuquerque for a little bit. I was working there at a restaurant for a bit. And then I took my job in Alaska. I was able to save up a little bit of money in Alaska, and then I came home. And then since I got home, I was kind of riding on that extra bit of money I made in Alaska. And then also I started making money on YouTube and my Patreon account. And that is, you know, it's ever changing. There'll be one month where I make like $200, and then the next month, I think the most I've made, I had like a bunch of videos take off and I made like $1,000. So that was amazing. But yeah, it's constantly changing. Right now, I am set for the next month, and so I'm trying to make a whole bunch of videos to continue generating the YouTube income. But if that doesn't work out, then I will probably be getting a job again in February or March. So we will see. Okay, what is most challenging? The most challenging thing is being lonely. I'm a really independent person, and I'm kind of a loner in general as well. So I think I probably deal with it better than most people would. But when it starts getting dark, you're kind of confined to your vehicle, unless, you know, you're at the coffee shop or something. And it does get really, really lonely. You know, I have a lot of people that are like, find a travel partner, blah, blah, blah. I would love to find a travel partner, but it's not that easy. This is a small van. It like barely fits all my stuff. And of course, if I had someone with me, I would like move things around and make room for them. But the living space too, like, I don't know how many people would want this lifestyle and would want to like live in here with me. And then there's all the personality issues and like, I don't know. It's a big deal. Like, I would consider it, but it would definitely have to be the right person. Okay. Do you ever plan to settle down and live a so-called normal life? I do plan to settle down. I do not plan to live a so-called normal life. And also, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I'm going to answer that kind of together. In 5 years, I hope to have written a book. I hope to be in a stable relationship, if not married. I hope to be having a child, if not have had a child already. And I hope to have a property with, you know, the whole Airbnb idea with different units, like the Airstream, maybe like a house or a cabin, maybe a yurt. I'm not really sure exactly what, but I really want it to be like a really close-knit, communal, family type environment, very similar to what I experienced back in Albuquerque. As far as YouTube, I hope to kind of transition out of like my traveling phase and into that more of like a homesteading type channel or videos. And also, like, if I have different people living there, whether it's long-term or short-term, if they're okay with it, I think it would be really awesome to kind of integrate these other people and to film things about their lives and their experiences, and not have it just about me, but have it be about like the entire community. That would be amazing, and that is what I'm going for in 5 years, or hopefully in 1 year. Okay. Speedy 1995 says, were you born with pretty feet, or did you have to work at it? That's hilarious. Actually, kind of funny. Growing up, I was really into ballet. I took ballet for years and years, and when you get to a certain level, you start wearing point shoes, which are the really pointy pink satin slippers where you stand on your tippy toes, and those mess your feet up really bad. If you've ever seen someone's feet that has been dancing on point, they're like blistered and bloody, and they're just a mess. So that was my situation for quite a while, and then I stopped taking ballet, and my feet did recover. I was really self-conscious about my feet though, like all through high school. I remember wearing socks with my sandals. That's embarrassing. But because I thought my feet were really ugly. And then when I was older, I was like, oh, my feet are fine, and my feet are actually pretty cute. The reason that I show my feet sometimes in my videos is because it's a really good transition piece. You know, instead of going from like being in the van to being in a store, the feet kind of, or feet walking, shows that, you know, you're moving into a different scene, and it's a good transition piece. I'm not trying to attract all the foot fetish people. If that is you, that's gross. Alright, anyway. Man, it's, ow. It's annoying when people park right next to you. Like, I'm in this massive parking lot. There's like 50 spots, and there's like 2 people in the parking lot, and people pull up like right next to me. Really? I mean, do you see that guy? He's throwing his garbage away. Okay, so, oh no, where'd it go? Okay, I have another question from someone whose name I cannot pronounce. It's not in English, it's symbols. But it says, hello, how are you willing to communicate with some? Do you accept it? So the answer to this, I'm still kind of figuring it out. If you're gonna email me and say, you know, like, I'm super inspired by your travels, blah, 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 I will email you back. If you're gonna email me and say, oh, you have really pretty feet, or like, I want to travel with you, I probably won't email you back. I do really want to be more about community, and I want to meet people and even travel with people. I did that last year for a while, and that was super great. But if it just comes from an email and it's very impersonal, I'm probably not going to respond to something like that. Facebook and Instagram is a really great platform because I can see your photo, I can go on your profile, I can see that you're a real person. Okay, I have some more questions here that are not from a specific person, but I get them a lot in general, so I wrote them down here Just gonna go over those quick. If you're asking for the name of one of the songs that I used in a video, 99% of those songs and that music is listed in the description box. You just have to scroll down and look. What kind of van do you have? How much was it? My van is a 97 Chevy Express. It's a 1-ton van. I had to buy the 1-ton because I wanted to make sure that it could tow the Airstream. And I did pay $7 grand for it. It came with the high top. It had 97,000 miles when I bought it. So that's a really good deal. And for a 97, it's in excellent condition. I bought it in northern Minnesota, and I think that's why it was so cheap. Nobody's doing van life in Minnesota. It's far too cold there. And actually, when I lived in Minnesota, I didn't even know that, like, hashtag van life was a thing. I learned about all of that after I moved into the van. But, yeah, I did buy it up in Minnesota. I think that if you're looking for a camper van, especially with a high top, look in an area where van life isn't a common thing. You're going to find a better deal there. Okay, my friend with the dog. I know I've posted some videos since all these questions, so you might already know the answer to that. But my friend that has been in my videos, Barb, she is the owner of the property back in Albuquerque that the Airstream sits on. She is amazing. She's like a spiritual mother to me. And the dog that you occasionally see is her dog, Dudley. I wish that I could steal him. I wish that I could bring him on the road with me. I love that dog, but it's not mine. Guys, I don't normally talk a lot, and I'm losing my voice already. I go days without talking sometimes. It's probably not healthy, but it's for a season. This is a season. Info on the Airstream. Okay, so I have a lot of people that have seen my Airstream videos and they want to connect and know information about it. My Airstream is a 1969 Overlander. It's 27 feet. So when I bought it, it was gutted, but I bought it with a contract for the guy to renovate it for me. And that was $30,000 for the complete package. It's quite a different setup than a traditional Airstream going down the road. It's also quite a bit heavier, and I don't have it set up to be towable at this time. I could change some things and make that a reality in the future, but for right now, as just a solo, single traveler, I don't need that much space with me. Maybe in the future, if I have a travel partner, that would be a good option. Now it's better off just sitting stationary on the land. Okay, so Alaska job info. For all the people that want my job in Alaska, you can find it on coolworks.com. I believe this season starts in April or May, so I would be on there February and March. I would start looking, and yeah, you just send them your application, your information. I had to go through 2 or 3 different phone interviews. It took it was about a process of 2 weeks, and then I flew out there. I think they normally pay $15 an hour. You also get a bonus at the end of the season, and they also have a travel stipend, and that helps out with your travel expenses getting there and back. So yes. Are you single? I get that question a lot. I am single. Are you traveling alone? Yes, I am. Some people think that I'm lying and I'm staging this whole thing. That would be a lot of work. But yes, I am single. I definitely want a relationship in the future, but I have a very specific vision and goals for my life, and anyone that I would want to date or be in a serious relationship with, I would want them to have the same type of vision and values and goals that I have. And that is not really an easy thing to find. And so until that happens, I am very happily single. I think I am actually a lot more natural single. For me, being in a relationship is uncomfortable and it's work because I haven't been in very many. And so it's not something I'm just gonna jump into with anybody. I'm not like one of those serial relationship kind of people. So yeah, until the right person happens along, I'm very happily single. The last question I want to mention super quickly, I've gotten a few times, and that is in reference to the cult that I mentioned that I grew up in. And the cult is called IBLP, which stands for Institute of Basic Life Principles. And it's an organization that was founded by a man named Bill Gothard back in the, I believe, the 60s. And it's basically a fundamentalist homeschooling group that has some really whacked up beliefs. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. You can Google it if you want more information. I am going to do a video about that in the future, hopefully within the next couple weeks. I think that's it. That's all the questions I had written down. There's probably some that I missed, and I'm so sorry. If you write them in the comments below, I will definitely answer them. But I think that is all that I have for you for now. I hope this didn't get too lengthy. I feel like it did. But I'm so sorry it took so long for me to finally do this. And I really hope that this video is good and I don't have to redo it again. I am going to be posting a lot more videos very soon, and hopefully you will enjoy those as well. But for now, thank you again so much for watching. You guys have all my love, and I will see you soon.